Welcome back. Fresh controversy in Karnataka. The Savarkar Face-off continues escalating now with the BJP Yuva Morcha workers holding up photos of Savarkar and also waving black flags, shouting slogans against Siddaramaiah, who arrived in Kodagu. My colleague Deepak Bopana is joining us live with more details on this. Deepak, Siddaramaiah arriving in Kodagu being greeted by the BJP workers, not just with Savarkar posters but also go back slogans.
Yes, Mr. Siddaramaiah is in Kodagu. He's going to be touring, different places that have been affected by the rain, and also paying a visit to some of the families, where either houses have been damaged. And while, of course, he was hoping that it will be a smooth visit, it was not. As earlier today, while he was making his way inside, just in the beginning of Kodagu near Titimati, there were, BJP Yuva Morcha workers who were lined up on the street there, and you could hear them shout slogans as his convoy started to come. They were holding up, pictures of Savarkar as well, and shouting slogans for Mr. Siddaramaiah to go back, shouting slogans that he's, somebody who's spoken in favor of Tipu. As far as the issue of Tipu is concerned, it is a matter that is taken quite seriously in the region because of a certain amount of history that comes with it. And Mr. Siddaramaiah, of course, who's spoken in praise of Tipu in the past, not getting the warmest of welcomes that he would have probably wanted while he entered Kodagu.
That's right. Deepak, clearly the controversy over the Savarkar posters has not ended despite security being increased in some of the districts in different places, such posters coming up. Naseer Hussain joining us over the phone line. Do stay on with us, Deepak. Mr. Naseer Hussain, this is a welcome that Siddaramaiah received. This after the statement that he made where he said the BJP is only trying to bring in such controversies to politicize communally sensitive Karnataka ahead of the polls. In fact, let me take this across to Deepak. Deepak, such incidents have been taking place in Karnataka. Siddaramaiah saying that this is a BJP conspiracy. The reason why such posters are coming up and Savarkar is being called Veer Savarkar even in Karnataka is because the polls are approaching.
Well, we in fact even spoke to...
Apologies, Deepak, do stay on with us. We have S Prakash of the BJP with us. Mr. S Prakash, the statement that Siddaramaiah made, after that we are seeing black flags and posters of Savarkar welcoming Siddaramaiah.
No, what happened was Mr. Siddaramaiah, instead of appealing for the peace and harmony in Shumagga, he questioned why the flags was kept in the Muslim area. He is dividing the city between Hindus and Muslims. This is from a former chief minister and the present opposition leader. This is very alarming and does not deserve to, and it would certainly create more disharmony in the place where we are seeing a lot of communal clashes. The responsible politician should appeal.
Let me, in fact, your charge, let me take it across to Mr. Naseer Hussain, who's also joining us. Mr. Naseer Hussain, the charge from the BJP is that for the Congress party, they're not appealing for calm. What they're doing is trying to instigate, and that's the reason why Siddaramaiah was given such a welcome.
See, the problem with Bharatiya Janata Party is when they are in opposition, they blame the government. When they are in government, they blame the opposition. How can the opposition be responsible for the kind of murders that are happening in the state of Karnataka? How can the opposition be held responsible for 64 communal riots that have taken place in Karnataka for the past 3 years? How can opposition be responsible for the fringe organization on both the sides which have been up in arms against each other for the past 3 years? Mr. Siddaramaiah and the Congress party have openly demanded that all this fringe organization needs to be banned. They have their own government in Karnataka. They have their government in Delhi. It is not difficult for them to ban this organization. They know that two brands of communalism feed on each other.
No, but would you say Siddaramaiah's statement that Savarkar posters were put up in Muslim areas is a divisive one? That's the reason why he's facing such protests?
What Muslim area, what non-Muslim area, what upper caste area, what Dalit area. See, Savarkar So you cannot compare patriots and traitors. You cannot put people, those who wear hand in glove with the British government, on par with the nationalists and the patriots and the people those who fought for the country. You cannot put those leaders who wrote apology letters, who accepted the British Majesty, who said they will not be the part of this freedom struggle, who said that they will help the British government, which is there in public domain, which is there on record. They can't be put in line with the patriots and the freedom fighters of our country. And he was the person who was a proponent of two-nation theory, and from where the other side picked up the two-nation theory, and these people played with each other. It was not the Muslims and the Hindus of the country who wanted partition. It was the Hindu Mahasabha and the Muslim League who wanted partition in this country. Okay. They were the proponents of two-nation theory, not Muslims, not Hindus in this country.
Okay, Mr. Prakash, can you respond to that? Because this is the charge that has come in from the Congress party time and again, that Savarkar is not a freedom fighter, he is a traitor. Mr. Naseer Hussain saying he was in fact the proponent of the two-nation theory. So why celebrate him and why try to rewrite history?
Yeah, he should first deplore the action of Shrimati Indira Gandhi, who released the commemorative stamp of Savarkar. He should deplore the stand of Indira Gandhi, who called her Savarkar as a remarkable leader. He should deplore Indira Gandhi, who contributed 10,000 rupees for the centenary celebration of Savarkar. Let him deplore her. Then subsequently, the question here is why Siddaramaiah is dividing the city between Hindus and Muslims. He did not answer that at all. He let him not respect Savarkar, let him not consider Savarkar as a freedom fighter. Who cares? Nobody is asking his certificate, nor his party certificate. What we are questioning is why Siddaramaiah is indulging in communal politics. He should answer that particular question.
Mr. Naseer Hussain, would you like to respond to that?
See the problem with Bharatiya Janata Party and this government is that they want to hold everything. They want to hold the Congress Party and the Congress leaders responsible for everything that is happening in the state. It is their misgovernments. It is their administration which has not taken up. It is their law minister who said that there is no governance. We are just trying to push and manage for the next 6-7 months. They know that nothing is happening there on their ground. That is the reason they want to go after Siddaramaiah, go after Congress Party, divide Karnataka on communal and caste lines. And the fact remains that whatever I said about Savarkar is there in public domain. His apology letters, his letters to the British Majesty, to the British government, his two-nation theory, how he proposed the two-nation theory, how he was accused in Gandhi murder case, everything is there. And what he says about Indira Gandhi is, she responded to a letter that was written on behalf of the Savarkar Foundation or something. But the fact remains is that Hindu Mahasabha or Jan Sangh, whose, legacy BJP carries now, they don't have any role in freedom struggle. They are trying to appropriate the freedom, the icons of our freedom struggle. They are trying to appropriate the legacy of the freedom struggle. They know they don't have a legacy, so the only best way is to rewrite history, which they can't. They may write here and there, they may put one photo here and there.
Those are allegations and counter-allegations, but Mr. Prakash, how would you exactly explain that one after the other in the region, especially in coastal Karnataka, we are looking at such incidents on the rise? When it comes to Shimoga, there are prohibitory orders that had to be put in place, even in Tumkuru, in Chikmagaluru, in Mangaluru. There are several regions that are reporting incidents of violence.
It happened only because Congress leaders constantly, continuously attacked Savarkar as a traitor. He is not a patriot. He was not a freedom fighter. This instigated people on the ground to protest against the Savarkar flex. Who is responsible for that? He never answered for that. It is Siddaramaiah is dividing the city between Hindus and Muslims. He says the BJP is dividing between communal on communal lines. He did not answer that. He is making some irrelevant points. We accept only Naseer Hussain, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi fought for the independence of the nation. We are now enjoying the independence only because of 3 people who fought for this. Fine. Let him take this credit. But let him answer why Siddaramaiah is making such a derogatory, objectionable statement. He is not answering that. Let him answer. Any breakdown of plunder is deplorable. I am not putting the blame on Congress Party.
See whether somebody was there in the part of the freedom struggle or not. It is very clear, and it is quite clear. Everyone knows that these people at least didn't have any role in the freedom struggle. So that is a well accepted fact. Now the point is, who is responsible for 64 communal riots that have taken place in the state of Karnataka for the past 3 years?
Who gave you the
Is it the Congress party? It is Mr. Siddaramaiah. Where is your law and order? Where is your government? How many murders? Murder took place in Belgaum, murder took place in Gadag district, murder took place, so many murders took place in coastal region.
Mr. Hussain, there is also an alleged SDPI link that is also coming of one of those incidents where a youth was shot at. There is said to be a link with the Congress corporator. And there is said to be a link with the SDPI. How would you explain that?
SDPI, VHP, Bajrang Dal, PFI, they're all playing into each other's hand. We have said all these organizations which are responsible for communal rights and which are responsible for law and order situation, in breakdown of law and order situation in Karnataka, and also the kind of murders that have taken place. All these organizations are responsible. It is their government in the state. It is their government in the center. Please go ahead. We are demanded for a ban of all these fringe organizations.
All right, sir. So that remains to be seen whether even a state-wise ban is also imposed on PFI or SDPI or not. Karnataka Sarkar is responsible for that. Thank you very much, Mr. Prakash and Mr. Hussain, for joining in. As this controversy only seemingly getting bigger, let's continue to get you more opposition reactions that are coming in on this story.
His alternative view is what leads to clashes. Did Jawaharlal Nehru's view about composite India lead to clashes? No, there were no communal riots between 1947-48, when the partition riots ended, and his death in 1964. So you can have two sets of views or two sets of opinions about historical matters. But if one leads to peace and tranquility and the other leads to tension and violence, well, then every Indian has to make a choice.
All right.